Well, hi. We've had a super hot week. So far, it's Wednesday, but it's just been unbearably hot. We've been having uh, high humidity with our heat index in 105 or better, up to I think it was up to 119 the other day when it rained Tuesday. So, or no, it rained Monday. That was Monday that it did that, and so still hot. We're in a heat advisory in Memphis here in our neighborhood, Walker Homes. But it looks like I don't know what the Republicans are trying to pull with this health bill shenanigans. You know, it'd be a lot easier, I guess, for everybody concerned if the Republicans represented the people, not the lobbyists. I think that because I was walking around talking to folks. We happen to have a murder up here, two murders up here on Harahan just recently, um, and you know, like people talking. And one thing people are talking about is that the majority of us, you know, uh, will be very upset if they do all the things that the Republicans are thinking about repealing and trying to get rid of Obama's legacy. I don't know if they're gonna, give Wall Street back and collapse the housing market again. Because that's something Obama had a hand in is fixing the banks and the housing. So if they're gonna undo that, like they're gonna undo the health care, and for people that don't seem like they really care about politics, they're all about the sports, um, daytime television, um, keeping up with the Joneses, and all the other Jim Crow propaganda, you know, um, um, that if their whole illusion collapsed because of the financial, because they don't have health care, because they get rid of Social Security, um, they're going to have the police go down in tanks and just start shooting their own people. I guess they're going to have to arrest, the majority of their population. You know, uh, at least, at least. A good quarter of the population of the United States are going to have to, and they're pretty close to doing that now. Having you know, because of our the way the Republicans are thinking, they're not thinking of the consequences or in the long run what would be the best results. What actions can they take to cause a positive for the citizens? They're thinking about what can they do to please the lobbyists, that they feel because of their money got them elected, not the American people. It's not the American people. It's their big dollars. Look at that McClain. He comes out of brain surgery just to vote on a health bill that we don't even know what the fuck's in the health bill. We know that they from the previous health bills that they have shown that they have not taken time really to analyze, digest, or comprehend the what the results of their actions are. Sure, you can undo Obama, but I think they're going to have a you know you know and I think this is very common when you have civilizations, great civilizations get destroyed. You can look at the Greek and the Rome when they went more Caucasian, more male rule. That was the end of their civilizations. You have white Anglo-Saxon men that have another point of view why their civilization failed. I've heard ones like, oh, when they get overly religious and when they have a lot of cooking shows that have stars in it, when they have a lot of people paying attention to sports or whatever, that is just the way to squeeze out the last little pennies from the people to show for certain people with a lot of money to feel like they could still buy people and sell people, like in the basketball and football type of organization. Um, you know they they trade people, different teams, so that gives them that. But the basic line is that their type of narcissistic, not educating the populace is corrosive to civilization development. I remember, like, there was somebody that was saying, um, that they did like some study where they brought in some people that came in after World War I or World War II from Europe, from a war written place, and they put them all in this one little area, and they wanted to be like Mayberry for them. When they brought these people that was traumatized and war victims, and actually, even though they was that, they were also ones that was pointing guns and blowing up people and organizing, uh, fighting in their area. So and they found that they continue the killing, raping, and pillaging, of each other. People that are thieves or whatever. They still are opportunists. They're opportunists, and opportunists means from their family, friends, and where their workplace, right? And so they found that to be a little corrosive. So and so they just put it off till they were to from a war-stricken zone. If so, look how many people that we have coming in from around the world from war-stricken places. If they have that same type of trauma, but you'll see it again and again in different places where, like the British, the French, and even the Spaniards had occupied. The type of results that you have. You can look in South America. You can look at Sin City. Um, uh, they can't seem to make money without the people that they're making the money off of, the people that are using that they stole their land from, stole their minerals from, so and their food from. They have to torture them, you know. And it's just like it becomes it comes like the child that got sexually and physically abused, that turns around, does the same to their child, and their child therefore turns around and, like, I have to whoop this child. Like if they're black, oh, I gotta whoop because the white man whooped me, or whooped us, or this is how I did. This is discipline. Uh, uh, if they're white, it's more like, spare the rod, spoil the child bullshit. They have numerous reasons to continue the type of behavior that a lot of them will complain and cry about that was done to them. And it's just one of those things that children don't really talk about, is physical and sexual abuse from their parents, uncles, grandparents, aunts, cousins. Usually until um, uh, um, uh, they're a little older, or the trauma becomes such that their behavior is causing, and since most of the time kids that get sexually abused, physical abuse, they usually act out in sexual ways, like prostitution and stuff like that, that is very acceptable in today's society. No matter how psychotic the behavior is, if it's on a sexual thing, people are making money. And we have plenty of examples, like with the Kardashians girl that did that X-rated movie, Black China. I don't know. There's a bunch, I'm sure. Um, this day, Nicki Minaj, right? Wasn't she a dancer? Um, what was that other one that you? Well, anyway, it's so, and even with men. Um, so we're looking at now a very valuable time, where the Republicans seem like they want to start a war with the American people, at the same time isolating us from our allies, while North Korea circling the wagons, because that's their master plan, is to divide and conquer, divide us by a racist, ignorant stupidity, instead of nurturing our children, teaching our kids, fixing our schools so that we could have jobs. That we're going about it in such a sideways um, uh, that is going to cause more harm. Trump has degraded the presidency. He has came off as a psychotic, narcissistic, syphilis minded person. With syphilis that is now going into its dementia stage. That's what I meant. Type of behavior that that only agree narrow-minded hypocrite that is a con artist, that is a criminal, and is a traitor to the American people, the Constitution, and to the presidency, and that he makes ridiculous and very embarrassing speeches, just like he did the other day with the Boy Scouts. I don't know what the fuck he thinks he's saying, but surely shouldn't he practice and have somebody in front of him help him with his speeches? Because he sounds like a motherfucker fool. And so making America very vulnerable and our security, very limited. And then when he's festering up problems with Korea, you know what I'm saying? He's festering up problems, with Mexico. He's gonna fester up problems with numerous countries because of his very ignorant, nasty way of talking to people. Even I thought it was embarrassing the way he was talking to the president of France's wife. Like, that has no respect. Like, it wasn't brought up proper. Like, his daddy was nothing but a dick sucker for a few dollars. And he just comes from some real horrors. So real low down. And you could tell from his father being called a slumlord that they was some really low down, nasty people. And we're seeing the results of having the type of person in office. Hey, what's up? Let me get off the. Hold on just a second. So, in conclusion, I just want to say that if we do not impeach this traitor, treasonous president, that we're going to go to war.